who read my bio before coming here? So just one validation, quick validation. Nope. Perfect. All right. So the next slide is useful then. All right. So okay, the organizers should do something about it. You know why the information is not spreading. You should iterate for next time. Okay. So.
You can help us.
No, you will do that.
Yes.
I can just mentor. All right. So yeah, briefly about myself. The past year I was working in the US in New York in dopamine design agency. Actually, gamification was what brought me down there, but I was doing a lot of UX. I had a lot of UX challenges, and I was helping with one book research, and on my spare time I went to like 6-7 hackathons, not really with an idea, but more of learning like how other people did, what kind of tools they used, you know, things what I can bring to my own daily job. And yeah, one other thing was Founder Institute. It's from founders to founders, early stage accelerator. So I was at that there as well. Yeah, now I'm UX designer. All right. So how many have seen this book or have read this book? All right. So yeah, that's what I thought. So how many have read it? So it was all right. Perfect. So what does this mean?
Oh.
Half of it. All right. The best half.
No. This is half.
The pictures. All right. So I guess the best way of describing today's talk would be, I bet most of you here are related to development. So I guess the best way of rephrasing this whole talk is that I will present you how you should see your teammates or your colleagues who are working on like marketing or product development, or you know, basically seeing the eyes of who actually need the product. I don't know if this idea made sense. Okay, maybe I will rephrase it later on. So basically, in 2011, Eric Rice published this book. It all started about his own company. He's a developer, and he was doing a lot of long hours, and he was working so hard with his code, and whenever he pushed it out, the feedback typically was like no one really cared about it, or no one really needed it. So he was digging more into like what he can do to improve his work methods, and so the lean startup consists of lean manufacturing, where it's all about the input of users, like what the users need. You all are familiar with agile development, doing things iterative way, and also customer development. This was introduced by Steve. Well, the phrase was more beginning to be used by Steve Blank, who's also one of the evangelists in this space. And yeah, I guess you all have seen this slide as well. So doing things fast, iterative way. Down here, Eric Rice, his experiment was basically a code he made. But actually, you don't really need to make a code. Your experiment, your minimum viable product can be whatever is necessary just to prove that there's actually a problem out there. So let's go further. So how many of you know how Dropbox raised money, or how they got 75,000 signups? No idea. So basically, they were struggling of explaining the idea to the users. What users didn't really know that they needed to synchronize files, and they were explaining the same idea to investors as well, but they also didn't. Well, there wasn't any users proof of it, so they got creative. They thought about like, okay, why not make a couple of minutes video and show everything like step by step how things work. And because of this video, it was literally their minimum viable product, their experiment. And because of this video, they got funding and they got 75,000 signups. So you don't really need to build any code at all. Another great company, which you should read this book by Zappos. Cannot remember what was the Tony Hayes was the author of it.
You mean Delivering Happiness?
Yes, Delivering. Yes, thank you. So I suggest just to read about it. There's great insights how you should develop your customer loyalty, and basically their whole marketing campaign money went only to putting money into customer loyalty development. I guess you can see here, they have like 365 days you can ship your products back. They were all the time surprising customers when customers ordered longer term shipment. They surprised, they send it the package like next day. It's another topic, but anyway, the way how they validated if people are willing to actually buy shoes online was that they went to a local small retail stores and they were asking, can we take photos of the shoes? We will post it online. If we will have a sale, we will buy it for full price. And that's all they did basically. I guess I didn't really check how their first website looked, but I guess it was pretty crappy and easy. Maybe WordPress. I guess who knows exactly the statistics, but I think it's like over 90% are WordPress websites anyway. Yeah. So the big issue is this thing. So can someone name like what's this waste in product development?
Stuff you build but nobody needs.
Exactly.
All the overhead.
Exactly.
Complexity.
Delays. Everything.
Exactly. Too many features. Are you building this?
This is our waste.
This is your waste. I collected all your waste. So what should we do? There's from this lean startup community, there has brought out lean startup machine one weekend, kind of like Garage 48 hackathons, but the whole idea is to not hack, but to actually to validate, like if there's a customer there and if the customer has a problem. Basically, no solutions are allowed until you validate if there's actually a need for a product. This is the first iteration actually, which you can download from here, but okay, blackout, what's that? Yeah, so the whole idea is to save money while building stuff, doing things fast way, making pivots. Your product, like I said, it's just the experiment, the minimum thing you can imagine, and the whole process is validated learning. So actually, there's this. Even the lean startup machine is making iterations to products. So this is actually the new javelin board. It's new lean canvas. You can say like that. I'll walk through later on more, but I don't know. I can point with this. So basically, you can start from here, push the customer, what's the problem? Yeah, this is blank, like you can see. I suggest to, if you want to implement in your work, try this out. Then just add like one customer and one problem, and then on the next round you'll have you're gonna put the success criteria, which I will explain later on, and then you will put your learnings, and then on the next round it's typically changing like one input, and based on that you'll have another learning. All right, so yeah, first of all, you need to know who's your customer. I don't know how many are familiar with, well, you all are familiar with personas, but the better, I won't go that much deep into that, but the better you know your customer, you know what kind of devices they're using, or if they're having family, or if not, I don't know, if they like square hats or something like that, you know, depending on your customer. So you need to have some hypotheses. I'm sure you will see that things don't work out like you planned. You will start seeing patterns once you go out and talk with them. But the first thing is you need to know the customer, and you need to know what's the customer problem. And yeah, it's that simple, you know. And like I said, you're not supposed to talk about solutions before you actually validate there's a problem out there. We'll get into that. So there's three ways of how to do things. The first is exploration, which is basically doing interviews. So thinking about questions which will ask things from the past, like how they have used this service or how they have used that service. The more wider you ask the questions, the better they will be on. Maybe we'll find out actually totally different kind of problems. That's really a typical case. So the second method is pitch. It's basically getting any kind of currency. Either it's a proof of letter of acceptance, or if it's an email address, or if it's click on the website, just to get something which tells you that they're really into that. And the concierge is basically like the like Sapo's example. So they were doing physically the same experiment. They were delivering the product on the back end. They were doing themselves everything. So it wasn't automated. Just to get to know like how the customer feels. You know, even going. You know, if you're doing food delivery or something, then just going yourself to customers' doors and figuring out like maybe they have some needs at home or something. Yeah, and the methods increase the cost of testing, and so who has done actually customer validation in Estonia? All right, 3 people. What the other ones are doing? Just building cool stuff, or working corrupt. All right, so a lot of people think that it's really impossible to get Estonians to speak, but I don't think that. I mean, I'm trying to experiment even in elevators, you know, just typically you see a face like that, but you know, you just, I don't know, talk about their shoes or whatever, they will instantly have a story to tell you. Just go out and try out, get yourself comfortable with it. Some of my friends are actually, they might go to lady stores and just to pick up conversations. They would they would try to get the lady's number even though they don't want the number, you know, just to get out of your comfort zone, you know. Who will do that tomorrow? You will go to mail store. Yeah, so there's several ways. The best way is actually, you know, if you go not on the peak hours, you know, during lunch people are busy. If you go after lunch, you know, girlfriends might be chatting about something. It's really easy to get their attention. Of course, there's some questions like, oh, I'm doing a business to business. Like, how should I behave in that sense? Well, LinkedIn is out there. You know, it's not for recruiting. It's actually a great business tool. I suggest using that. Yeah, let's go further. Okay, so what you can actually do, how you can actually get some validation. So you can do simple A/B testing. You can do Twitter or Facebook polls in the target audience. You can use Wufoo surveys. These are actually so common in US. Just to get it out there in 5 minutes is no problem. Yeah, you can use. I've seen companies using Eventbrite for like embedding the Eventbrite to their own website and actually selling their products through that. So you don't need to set up any Visa or MasterCard or whatever payment systems. You know, you just need something to work and think creatively. So Google Forms are also great, and put the learning into your MVP. So what do you think? Which of the button is working best? Was working best? Which one?
Green.
Okay, so can we vote? How many will vote for green?
It's going to be get started. Get started. The nuclear war, then the right one.
Stop closing the door on potential customers. Read the copy, please.
If it's a positive, then left, yes.
If it's a positive.
Positive.
So you cannot see the text. Well, everything is positive. So okay, everyone at least has made up their mind, right? So.
But let's vote.
Yeah, let's vote. So how many go for green one? Positive people here. No. Wrong.
Wow.
Actually, in this case, I mean, it has been analyzed a lot. It might be, you know, the contrast of the website. Well.
But there is also this thing that like, I think that in a real situation they would be side by side. And so right now it's like when I look at it, for me it's like so do I press the green button or the red button? But in the real situation you wouldn't have that choice.
Yeah, exactly. Well, but
We have
you will see only one version of it anyway, you know. So just the test showed that there was.
We can do the test again.
So actually, I believe there was like over 20% increase people clicking on the red button. It was analyzed. It might have been in that case, you know, the contrast of the website, but in typical cases, actually, you know, you're never sure. You need to test all the time. So. Like so, at some point it was orange. It was working much better. Like, you know, red is like green is like exactly like you guys were here. It's, you know, positive emotion and something like that. So yeah, just the lesson here is test your assumptions. Well, that's the example of Wufoo form. I believe it's nothing special. That's the Eventbrite. Some other tools which which startups or people in hackathons are using. They're putting Unbounce up. It's a A/B testing website. You just make duplicates of website, just change the message, maybe even use your competitors' images, whatever, a little bit to fake it a bit, just to see if and what is working best, what is not working best, just to get some kind of proof that I'm on the right track. Launchrock is also just a landing page, simple to put up. I bet down here the developers are like, but I'm a killer developer. I always make my own pages or my own code. There's so many people out there searching for developers, teammates. You should be brought in when the time is needed. Then WordPress is everywhere out there. How many are using like Twitter Bootstrap? I've heard that some companies have their own Bootstrap. All right. So in terms of pitch, what you can actually do, you can do a landing page. You can do a fake landing page. For example, you can. Even though you don't have the product, you can put the button which says buy now. If people are clicking on it, at least you get some more validation that they're willing to buy it than if it's just a sign up for a subscription or something like that. Typically in that case, the next page is actually coming soon. You can do cold email, you can do cold calls. Fake ads, like I mentioned. The best currency, of course, is if you're just going to the store owner, getting their proof. Kickstarter is also a great way of doing pitch. The past weekend there was a ICTA gaming hackathon, and I suggested a team to do a A/B testing for in Facebook. They were making a game about animals versus humans. It's a new trend apparently. There's a shark game, sharks biting people. Their idea was, or their concept was that finally the Red Bulls will capture humans, and I suggested to make a small Facebook campaign, just targeting exactly to their competitors, making a couple of landing pages and showing that there's a new concept out there. I guess they paid only 8 euros or something. They got like 400 likes to this product. So it was engagement, like a proof that actually there's people out there who are willing to buy this thing. I guess these are the tools like which I use daily basis. I bet there's nothing special like Post-its. It's like in my back pocket all the time. I guess you all have your own timing systems, but if you do customer development, I suggest really like put down milestones. Okay, this will take me 2 hours, and just you do it. You thank you. Okay. How many have used this matrix system just to get ideas out? Perfect. All right, good. Just repetition is the mother of something. So you have all seen this thing. So the way you validate is. Have you learned from your experience? Have you grown some fan base? What the interviews customers have told you? What's the feedback? Like listen to feedback. the typical Estonian way of doing things is you will all the time start protecting what you have built. Like no, but I meant this, that. But just shut up. Be like, shut up. So just be like 2 seconds silence if you're asking questions from people, and they'll get like a little bit stitchy, or I don't know. They'll get uncomfortable. They're like, okay, well, what am I doing wrong? So they will start talking actually. So there's a couple of tricks out there. Yeah, actually, those slides are more like for early stage startups during hackathons, how to do things. In business model, I guess we're not going that further. I want to actually try it out. Yeah, let's try it out. Let's get out of the building. Who's in? Right now. Well, there's customers out there. All right, then let's watch one case study, and then let's. Oh, my mom is calling. So. You don't have speakers? Speakers? Let's try it.
We generated $4,500 in the last 2 days using lean startup methodologies for a new company called Chef's Table. This is
Okay.
If you want the speaker, but I have a Bluetooth speaker. It connects.
Oh, perfect.
Do you want it?
We can hear.
Exactly.
We can hear. We can hear. We can hear.
But still use it.
Let's not over-engineer.
It's a really good product.
No, it's
Let's test it.
I want to show it up.
It's all about keeping lean. That instant feedback, instantly making changes.
Okay.
Not sure if the internet will load.
bi-monthly events at San Francisco's top restaurants. So we were the winner of Lean Startup Machine, a 2-day boot camp. This is the validation board, which is a tool we used to run 10 experiments and do 5 pivots in just a couple days. So we started out on Friday night. Our pitch was, or my pitch, was resto tax. Turns out that San Francisco restaurants with more than 20 employees need to pay a payroll surcharge called Healthy San Francisco. Add this to your tab. So we got out of the building on Friday night. We talked to 7 general managers at restaurants. Guess how many had a problem of calculating this very complicated payroll tax? Bingo! 0 experienced the pain themselves. They sent it to their accountant. So we pivoted. To design and run this experiment on Friday night, this took us about 4 hours. Next up, we war-dialed about 40 accountants. We reached 3 and found 0 that actually calculate the tax. So we made an executive team decision. Let's move on to something else. This took us 3 hours. So, moving on, we went back to something we learned from the managers during our first experiment. That the number one problem San Francisco restaurants face is getting more people in the door. Sales. Number one problem. So let's drive business to them using a matchmaking service between tech firms, law firms, and restaurants that offer happy hour. Oh, snap. They do not experience this pain. They're operating pretty much at margin during happy hour. Okay, but notice we were twice as productive during this experience. So let's go back to another thing that we learned in our very first experiment, getting out and talking to general managers at restaurants. These guys run the show. Okay, the restaurants need a better estimate how many people are going to come in the door on a given night. Okay? So we designed a system that takes into consideration weather, hotel occupancy, and nearby conventions. They can staff appropriately. They can avoid food spoilage. They're going to save a ton of money. They're going to avoid staff turnover. And head shaking, side to side, not up and down. Damn it. But you know what? 20 minutes to design and run this guy. 20 minutes. So at this point, feeling pretty good about ourselves. Food right now. We are going to drive business in the door using a location-aware mobile application to send deal alerts driven entirely by restaurant managers in real time. Turns out it's an awesome idea. Tons of money's going in. We decide, well, it's not for us. It takes us about 30 minutes to come to this determination. So now it's Saturday. Morale's a little low. Saturday night. We're about to get kicked out of Pivotal Labs. And, well, we are awesome at invalidating our crappy ideas. And then Fiona says, hey, what about a wine club for restaurants? So we iterate on this and we come up with Chef's Table, which is 6 bi-monthly restaurant experiences in 2013 at San Francisco's top restaurants, featuring San Francisco's top chefs. It's an exclusive seasonal menu that is simply not available the rest of the year. You get personal time with the chef, you get a signed menu, you get preparation notes, you get a recipe, you know where the food comes from. $1,500 for 2 people for an annual subscription. So what's our riskiest assumption? Oh my God! Can we get $1,500 from hardcore foodies? The answer is yes. We closed $4,500 in 90 minutes on Sunday afternoon, and we could sell out all of 2013 if we were not stuck in this building. So what are the key takeaways here? For me, there were 3. And we chatted, what are our team goals? What do we got going on? Number 1, you can do this. You can do this, and you can do this. Okay, 0 coding. We went from selling vaporware to selling vapor food. Number 2, you have to practice to get lean. I've been to 2 of these conferences before. Now I'm just kidding. And number 3, as Dan Martell once said, once you've collected $1 on the internet, you have gone for it. So I'd really like to thank my amazing team. You know, I just met these people for the first time on Friday night, and they were unbelievable. There are actually 6 tickets left for Chef's Table in 2013. And we are looking for investors, so come see me afterwards.
Always needs to end with an ask, right? How was the story? Educative? Will you stop making code? Yeah, actually, there's another video, but I will just share it with you. So, who's willing to test their hypothesis? Who has an idea, consumer related? I saw some people having hands with customer validating. Come on.
Let's validate DEVCLUB.EE.
DEVCLUB.EE?
Yes.
Okay, so you're up.
Yes. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, maybe you can. So you can right here. You can first say, what do you think? Who's your customer?
So developers.
Developers, okay, but what's their let's say what's their problem?
And the problem is that you cannot be professional if you are not learning.
All right. Do you think? Yeah, all right. Write it down then. So this is the problem.
Okay, so
We're gonna validate it anyway, yeah.
yes, we have to validate. So okay, but so I'm writing the problem down here.
No, just write it down, you know, maybe
Okay,
for
so,
your own notes.
You can be a professional if you are not learning.
Right.
Okay.
So what do you think? Who are your customers? Who's the target? Who's like the best customer for you?
The best customer is somebody who recognizes that he is not perfect.
Like this is too vague, you know.
Okay, that's it.
Do you think
Developer.
developer? What kind of developer?
Developer that's
Young,
understand-
old, you know,
okay, you know,
professional,
okay.
not professional.
Okay, so let's say that let's 5, 6, at least 5 years in the profession. So customer.
Sorry, you had the comment. I was just.
Yeah, I was hinting at, is it a junior or architect? Or
Mhm.
5 years in the profession is usually senior in the building.
But I'm saying that somebody who is at least 5 years in the profession, so he understands that he don't know nothing.
Is it 5 years at college plus 2, or is it after college?
After the college. After the college. Somebody who is after the college, so let's say that college plus 5 years, or plus, okay, 3, 5 years, okay, 5 years still. Let's be more kind of experience, of coding.
Mhm.
Cutting off like 80% of the people with the 5 years limit.
Participants.
But still,
Well, that's what I say. What's your like target
this
customer?
is the target customer.
Okay. So what do you think? What's the riskiest assumption? Like what? Like if they don't, maybe they're not social, you know, or maybe they're not into learning at all.
Yes.
What do you think? What's the riskiest assumption?
Yes,
Not yes, but what do you think?
Yeah.
What's the biggest riskiest assumption?
a riskiest assumption that they don't understand that they need to learn.
Mhm.
So that is the real issue. So people don't understand that they need still to learn.
Can you name a few more riskiest assumptions so we will vote? Which people think are the riskiest?
How about that those people think that there is another conference which achieves the learning thing better than...
Okay, yes, also good enough. Okay, so there is another conference. Okay, risk assumption.
Is this the biggest? Okay, you'll do a leaderboard?
Yeah, I'm just putting something on the board.
Yeah, you can put like which are the risks?
Assumptions and risks. So other conference is better.
Mhm.
Maybe also that they are already participating in so many events that they don't.
Not enough time.
Mhm.
Enough money.
Not enough time. Yes,
They need to spend time with their family.
time. Money is not so big issue typically. But
I
not
sure-
enough time.
Are you sure they want to learn?
Sorry.
Are you sure they want to
As
learn?
I said, this is what biggest assumption that they don't want to learn. This is the real. So they are not active in learning.
Maybe they have more like this self-taught style, where they just read stuff on their own.
So a different type of learning. They prefer
Okay,
different type of
but
learning.
still okay. But not active. Yes, they can learn by themselves, true, but there is a kind of wall. You cannot go any further. You need others. You need to. Well, as a people, we are learning from others. So we are picking skills from other people. So this is what. That's why we cannot just by reading book learn something. So reading the book is not helping us. Not active in talking with others or not
antisocial.
No, it's not about antisocial. It's about they don't see value of how other people are doing things.
Maybe also that just that they don't see the value of this.
They don't see value of the conference. Yes.
Perfect. So, pick one.
Conference. Okay.
Can it also be that? Sorry, I have one.
Yes.
Can it also be that they just don't know about this conference?
They don't know about the conference, of course. Not aware about the conference. Okay.
Right. So
we can.
Yeah. Okay. The list is endless. I can see.
Okay.
All right. So which one will you pick? Can you just line it out, like underline it?
Okay.
Sorry.
Easiest to go not aware about the conference. I think that this one is the kind of easiest win at the moment.
All right. So think that you're now going to approach your. What was it? Not
aware about the conference. They don't know about the conference. They don't have the information.
Is it
about
really?
The conference.
Is it really their problem?
No, it's not their problem.
Actually, the problem needs to be on the customer side.
True. Yes, it needs to be. Okay, so you are asking more about what their needs are, and not about risk assumption. But because it's an assumption, we don't know. We cannot validate it yet. So we don't know, we cannot measure at the moment how many of you have heard about DevConf before my presentation. About DevConf before my presentation.
Before today, basically.
Before today. So let's say 25%.
But now ask how many people have heard about it except visiting other dev club.
Yes, this is something different. So and this is, yes, exactly. So people who are visiting Dev Club from the Dev Club community, only 25% knows.
Okay, so.
But I think that the question is more like, if you tell somebody about the event, what is the reason he's going to say no?
Yeah, so the whole experiment is about basically validating that people don't need this event, you know. If you see what I'm saying.
Okay, so we need to validate that.
You need to actually, you need to figure out like that they don't need it at all. So you want to really find the pain, what they're actually in for it, like what's their problems really, like what they want to learn from it. Okay, but let's say that now you need to pick criteria. Like if you're gonna interview 20 people, what do you think? How many should mention that they have this pain?
Okay, the pain is that they okay, let's say this way, that the pain is that there is a new technologies and I am not aware how to use it. Or I don't know how to use it in the most efficient way. How to bring a value to the customer. This is kind of the pain what they are looking for. So they pain. And if we are looking from this point of view, so I can ask kind of right now. So how many of you have?
No. First you need to write down. What do you think? What's
his needs.
Okay, so how many people?
His pain, right?
Yeah. So if you're gonna, how many people you can interview? Okay, here's like
Yeah.
25. So.
Okay. Yes. 25.
So how many people out of 25 should say that they have this pain?
Okay. To validate.
Yeah. So you can move further.
I would say that if 6 people out of 10 will say this, then I would go further. 60%.
All right, yeah, write it down.
6 out of 10 feel the pain.
Do you wanna?
Okay, yes. Who feel the pain that that you don't that you don't know how to use technology in the best possible way for your customer?
How it's connected to your conference?
Huh?
How it's connected to your conference?
No, it's not connected to the conference at all.
Yeah.
It's only connected to your need. Do you feel this need? Or do you feel this pain that you don't know how to use your technology or your tools in the best possible way for the customer's needs? Have you felt this pain?
How many people know this guy before?
Some. So I think that we have...
Friends, family and fools doesn't count. You need to get out of it.
So we have validated this. Should we continue?
No, it's a good lesson, but you know, I guess you understood like how the process works. It's all the time the easiest. Thank you. So it's all the time easiest to actually go closest to your friends, like ask them what they think about that. And there's this great example of one startup which wanted to build a chocolate spaceship, you know, and they were explaining this idea to their mom, and you know, they were, yeah, you know, you're making something. But once they went a step further, you know, you all might know what happened. So yeah, you need to. It's a bias. You cannot. What your friends are saying, they might just feel guilty, or they might just support your act. So you know, get out of the comfort zone. Go out. Ask random people. So can you make this experiment by what? By tomorrow? Among random people, not in Dev Club community. Okay, it's all up to you, like. But I guess it's a good good exercise. How many will actually start improvising or like experimenting with more, like getting to know more what the problems are? How many had actually takeaways here? It should be hand C. All right, so yeah, whoever wants to get the validation board, just I'll put my information down here. So just send me an email. It's not available anywhere online. So startups use it a lot, but it's been used. It actually was created for enterprises. So enterprises in the US are using it widely as well, getting their innovations going on, like how to do things the lean way. If you have some side projects, I just suggest you try it out yourself. And right, yeah. Thank you.